Hi, welcome to the Think, Plan, Do Successful Planning Frameworks and Tools presentations. By now, you will be very familiar with the Think, Plan, Do framework. Think. Think is a time you give yourself to explore new possibilities, new dreams, new visions. Plan. Plan is a time you spend working out how to make your dreams and visions become a reality. And Do is a time you spend executing your plan. For some people, they have such incredible visions that they spend a lifetime working on those plans. One of the things we've learned in the previous presentation is that there is a time for thinking. There is a time for planning, and there is a time for doing. This presentation will focus on the planning phase of the Think, Plan, Do framework. Let's start off by defining what we mean by planning. So, what do we mean by planning? Is it to identify what needs to be done to achieve the vision? Is it to identify skills and resources required to achieve the vision? Is it to break down the big vision into smaller achievable goals? Or to agree on a timeline for these goals? Or is it to document each goal and its criteria for success? Well, the answer is all of the above and a whole lot more. Let's look at planning from a visual perspective. Let's start live from where you are now. You may not be good at making plans. You live from day to day. And eventually, you get to the end of your life and achieve not much. Or you could make some plans. Achieve them, make some more plans, achieve them, and so on. And in the end, you can potentially end your life in a much, much better place. So, now that you understand a little more about Think, Plan, Do and the importance of planning, what is stopping you from planning your life for a better life? In this presentation, we'll cover the frameworks. In part 2, we'll cover the tools. From a frameworks perspective, we've already covered the Think, Plan, Do and the Vision, Strength, Reality. We'll spend a bit more time on introducing a new framework called Break It Down, Break It Down. Let's recap Vision, Strength, Reality and focus specifically on the strength. As part of the planning phase, you need to review your assets to ensure that you are equipped and ready to execute your plan. Strength is the collective knowledge, the equipment and resources you have at your disposal to help you achieve your vision, your goal. You should continually develop strength along the journey of your life. So, what are the important aspects of strength? Well, strength requires planning. For example, what resources do you need and when? Strength requires knowledge. For example, what specific knowledge do you need? Strength requires courage. Strength requires ambition and motivation. And finally, strength requires help from others, a lot of help from others. As we spend time thinking about what our dreams are and then turn them into visions, we can start planning process by superimposing the vision strength reality on top of the think plan do framework. The planning process requires an honest assessment of your capabilities and strengths. Basically, you need to do a skills gap. And then helps you bridge this gap with a plan to develop the skill, to acquire that strength, or to identify people with the required assets to help you. Once you have identified the resources and skills required, the do process takes over. The journey to achieving your goals is filled with learning and discovery of new things. When you reach the end, you will most likely look back and think to yourself, wow, what a ride. Moving on to the next framework, we call this break it down, break it down. Basically, this gives you the ability to take a big, large, complex problem and break it down into smaller ones, and then again into even smaller ones until each problem seems achievable. From a visual perspective, you first break down the big goal into smaller ones, more manageable milestones, and each milestone into smaller, more manageable chunks or steps. Now, milestones should represent important achievements in your life, and as such, should be celebrated. Reward yourself every time you achieve a milestone. Okay, so this was a short presentation, and we just covered the frameworks that are used in successful planning. The next presentation will cover the tools that are used in successful planning. I encourage you to review this presentation a number of times to give you a better understanding of all of the frameworks and tools covered. Spend some time documenting your thoughts in a program workbooks provided, and read what others have to say, and contribute your own thoughts on these to help fellow Life Solution members understand and learn from these concepts. Thank you for reaching this far, and I look forward to seeing you at the next topic, Successful Planning Tools. Thank you.